Welcome to Moo Math and Science and solving percent of a number problems. In order to help you solve these types of problems, I'd like to introduce a mnemonic device. You can solve these problems using replace, doing math, move, and then solve. Let's look at a couple example problems using this mnemonic device. Thanks. So let's figure out what 1/2% of 44 is. And we're going to use replace, move, solve. Okay? And each time we move, we are making sure that we move to where we have a decimal. Okay? So the first thing I need to do is I need to replace the percent with a decimal and then the of with a multiplication. Well, in order to replace the percent with a decimal, we need to convert 1/2 into a decimal. And I do that by dividing 1 divided by 2. Okay? And 2 goes into 10 5 times with 0 left over. So it is 5. The next thing is make sure you move the decimal up so that it's 0.5. We now just solve. We have 0.5 times 44 equals, and then I'm going to do the math here. 44 times 0.50. What I do is I just do the multiplication and then count the number of places I have to the right of the decimal. And so when I do the math here, that becomes, okay, and then that is 220. So bring down the zeros. And then we have 2 places to the right, so that is 1, 2. So it becomes 0.22. So 1/2% of 44 is 22. Obviously a fairly easy one to start with. Now let's go the same thing. We're going to replace the percent with a decimal. So I need to convert 3/4 into a decimal. And so I put 3 on the inside, 4 on the outside. Make sure I put the decimal. 4 goes into 3 0 times. 4 goes into 30. That is 7 times. Then we have 28. Bring down the 2. 4 goes into 5. 25 times. Remember to move the decimal up, so we have 0.75. Now we have 0.75. I replace the of with a multiplication. And now I just multiply. I now have 75 times 22. I'll move the decimal 2 places to the right in just a moment. So that becomes 0, 15, because 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14, which becomes 15. And repeat the same thing again. And so now I have 1,650. And I move the decimal 2 places to the right, so it becomes 16. Okay, now let's solve 3/8% of 20. I need to replace with a decimal, so I need to convert 3/8 into a decimal, and remember the of is replaced by multiplication. So now I have 3 divided by 8. Put the decimal here. Remember, always have the decimal there. 8 goes into 3 0 times. 8 goes into 30, that is 3 times, that is 24, that becomes a 6. Okay, 8 goes into 6 7 times, which is 56. Add a 0, now that is 40. Put the 7 there. 8 times 5 is 40. Remember to move the decimal, so that becomes 0.375. So now I just solve. So we have 3.75 times 20. So I'm going to convert that to this. And I will move the decimal later. That's 0, 0, 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1, becomes 15. Bring the 1 over here. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 750. So now that becomes 0, 0, 5, 7. And remember, you have 3 places to the right. So I go 1, 2, uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share.